Hi, I am Akash Dangwal. I am a student in the BSc Honors Data Science and Artificial Intelligence online degree program at IIT Guwahati, and this is my submission for Internship-II, course code DA378. So basically the project I am presenting is an automated pipeline that collects and processes content from across a large set of websites and turns it into something that our content name team can actually search. So basically let me start with about the problem statement of this project. So basically I did an internship in a company that runs SEO and content optimizations for client websites. So like at moment they have hundreds and hundreds of websites that they do manage, like they do the blogging part, like writing blogs for the sites. Like so the problem is when a writer finishes, so now firstly I the one of the most important part that matters in SEO is internal linking. So basically linking from a new article to relevant older articles. Like suppose if I wrote a new article and I want to link it with my older articles, so basically I have to remember for that my previous 30 and 40 articles what I can internal link with this new one. So when a writer finishes a draft, the question is which existing post should link this to. So basically what we have done, like it's an large project which our team has worked on, and this internal linking is just a part of that project. So basically we have built a tool for them, like there they can find which past post they can internal link with their this new one blog. So the tools that I have, so basically my part in this project is that I have to crawl and fetch the data for like how like what's our like how we solve this problem is like we have fetch the site data, like all the post data, previous data of the sites, and like then we do the embedding of the older post and the new post. Like then we do the cosine similarity thing, like to fetch the most relevant post, like that the content writers can internal link with their new post. So as I said, my part was to crawl the site data and store the embeddings of the post data. So the tools that I have used in this, like we have used N10 automation workflow to crawl the sites data, and also workflow for to store the embeddings of the post data. Let me quickly give you a glance of the data that I have crawled. Like this is the data, like the URL of the post and the content in it, the title of the post, the meta description, the category, and here are the embeddings that I stored, that we created of those post data. So like now I will like to move on to the workflow that I have built to crawl this data. So this, so like we have to build 3 and 4 workflows for this part I have to build. So like this was the first workflow. Like what it does, like it stores the post URLs that I have to crawl, like fetch the data from the URLs. So what it does, like I have triggered a schedule trigger, like it triggers every day at 7 a.m. Like for first what it does, like fetch all the sites that we have to crawl, like from where we have to crawl the post data. Like from Superbase it takes the sites table. Then I have used loop here to go one by one for all sites. Then we have made an HTTP request to from the sitemap. Like sitemap is like a dictionary for the site. Like from sitemap we can fetch only the post data. Like we don't want the author, the category pages data from the sites, we only want the post data. So we have used sitemap here to get only the post data. Then if maybe if we don't get the sitemap from the normal HTTP request, then I have used scraping B here. If some error goes, then scraping B is the backup for us to fetch the sitemap data. Again, if some error comes, then we have put an script here, like the SQL script here, to store the error in the Supabase, like so that in future we get to know like this site have some error. So basically then we fetch the sitemap, we fetch the sitemap data here. Then from here I have used the regex here to fetch only the post data. Like from the sitemap also we get the authors data, like the categories, like and other pages of the site, but we only need the post data. So we have used the regex here to get the only the post sitemap. Then we have used simple HTTP request all the post sitemap to fetch the one by one URL from the post sitemap. Again I have used the scraping B here to fetch if something goes wrong with the HTTP request, then scraping B our backup here. Then we have used the regex here to clean the slug to get the perfect URL of the post only. And then we have used simply here an SQL Postgres to store the post URLs into our Supabase. Then we have our second workflow, which is this post data. Again what it does, like it fetch the post URLs that we have recently get from the previous workflow. Also I have done it ordered by unscraped post count, like so that we can get first those sites like who has maximum post which are not scraped yet. So again I have used loop to do it in one by one, then get the rows. Then we have used another workflow, another sub workflow, so that at one time we can run more than one workflows. If I do in the same workflow, then it takes so much time, like I have to wait for one to complete, then another, then another. By using this, at the same time I can execute as many as workflows that I want. So then we have called the fetching content post workflow. This is the workflow. This is the workflow which fetch and crawl the site data. So basically here from here it takes the parent workflow input. Then I have used the loop here to fetch one by one. I have used code in JavaScript to clean the input which we fetch here in HTTP request. So basically I have made an HTTP request. If I get some error, then again I have used HTTP request here. This one is just for to crawl the post data here, and then we store here in our Supabase. Then at last we have our workflow to make the embeddings of the post data that we have fetched recently. So basically from the Supabase table we fetch the data. I have set an limit of 700, like we can do 700 items in each batch. So then I have used the loop here. From the 700 items it will fetch and do the embeddings for 20 items at once. So like I have used here OpenAI small text embedding, because our data is so much, like we have to think here about the cost. So basically using the small text 3 embeddings, we are getting good results, so we have used them only. And then from here we build the embeddings and then store the embeddings in our Superbase, as I have already give you a glance like how we store the result here. So yes, that's all about this project. Like that's my part in this project, like to scrape the data and make the embeddings of the data that we have crawled. Thank you.